Welcome to Date Night Podcast,
a tabletop role-playing game podcast set in the homebrew world of Volyanaya.
Let's explore a whole new world together.
All right. Can we play D&D?
Let's D&D.
Let's do not disturb.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Okay. You made it back.
That
You
means
had
do
a
not do
full
that.
day of travel. You're back in Old Spore City. I keep wanting to say New Spore City.
No, that was on the other side of the
Uh-huh.
dark road and high
think
road
he's
and
aware.
low road and middle road.
You found Terry seems dormant. The gate seems open. What would you like to do now that you're back in town?
Celebrate that Terry is dead.
No offense.
But when Terry
Pure offense.
comes back,
It'll be wonderful.
I'm not going to beat up this statue until it's sentient again.
All right, so we should rest here tonight, right? Everyone. I guess we should rest here tonight, and then do the cow Pac-Man ET plan.
Oh, you like my
tomorrow.
plan.
I mean, it's better than anything else we got. Maybe I can fly in Lorem.
All right,
that
as
might
usual,
be-
you've been saving the cows
Actually-
for us, right?
What's the? Can you?
As
you have-
usual?
We have
Is there like an increased weight
4
limit on
cows?
fly?
4?
I can
Oh,
cast
no,
it
we
on
have-
anyone.
No, I
yeah,
mean
we
like
still only just have.
we can
the-
still use
the
a
4.
cow, but just like you fly the cow.
Oh, we could use one cow. I could cast Tensor's disc, and then I could fly away.
Yeah,
All
But
right.
how will we keep the cow on the disc? We might have to butcher it.
kill it.
You kill it, right?
Yeah.
You kill one cow to save them all.
Except for
And then
that
you
one.
can
One
cast
cow
fly on
combines
yourself.
them. One cow.
And you can have cast fly on yourself with Tensor's disc, and you can fly OT
So,
back.
We need,
That's what we've already said.
we need a tensor's
Kira.
disc with a butchered cow, and then the grease wizard just covered in cow blood flying behind it
Why does he have to be covered in cow blood?
for effect.
It's beautiful. I love it. All right,
It sounds like a great plan to me.
plan in the morning. Well,
One cow to rule them all.
is that cool with everyone? Everyone
One
likes
cow
that
to bring
plan?
them to the darkness and bind them.
Everyone likes the plan?
Sure.
All right. Well, I want to go hunting through the water again in my aquatic adaptation.
Okay.
Find some treasure while we kind of chill the rest of the day.
There's not a lot of the rest of the day left, but you could look around for a little while before bedtime.
Look at this place.
That is a 24 on investigation check.
Wouldn't you
So
say
you swim
my
around
collection's complete?
through some of the.
Disney's extremely litigious.
Please sponsor us.
We should stop
Not a chance in
singing.
hell. You swim through some of the fungal structures that are flooded. You get, down under the water. It's pretty dark, even with your dark vision, kind of murky, things of that nature. But you do find it's like might have been a trading post or something at some point.
Oh, right.
The spore folk don't keep a lot of, coin or particularly useful equipment for kind of humanoids. They kind of live a very different life. But it seems like maybe this was some sort of a trading post. And there's like a strong box that you see on one of the tables. It seems to be locked, but it's pretty small.
I want to open it.
Okay. Roll for your thieves' tools.
I do have thieves.
Are you proficient?
Yeah.
So you had your dex and your proficiency bonus.
18.
Okay. You pop it open, and there are some coins inside the box and a couple of gems.
Ooh. How many coins and how many gems?
It's about
Why did you sound like Terry saying that?
75 gold pieces worth of coins.
All right, I have to do math now.
And 2
Enough to play
seemingly
hundreds of pranks on Zev.
identical opals.
How many?
2 identical opals.
2 identical pools.
That sounds like you might need to do an Arcana check on them.
Can I do an Arcana check on them?
Yeah.
16.
Doesn't seem like there's anything arcane with them. As you inspect them, it looks like There are some scratches on them, like they may have been in a setting at some point. They might have been earrings.
Ah. Okay.
But they're just the stones now. Okay. It looks like there's a few, they've been underwater. A few things like you might find in a general store around. Is there any of that sort of stuff you were looking for?
New rope.
It wouldn't be in very good repair if it was rope. Maybe something. This stuff hasn't been there as long as like Nevermoon, but it's still, I think it's been like 40 years or something since the flood.
Duct tape.
Old cows.
So there's not a ton that would be intact, but if there's something that you think would have survived, it might not be in great condition. But
is there like a back room like in the last place that Zev and I robbed?
No, it seems like this is just a big. The way you came into the mushroom, you kind of know the size of the whole structure. It's just one big round room.
Think I'm good.
Okay. So you got that stuff out of the strong box. That was about probably what you could find in that amount of time.
Perfect.
Alrighty. Anybody else need to do anything before end of the day?
There was one thing that I was going to ask him to arcane check, but I don't remember what it was because I think I was talking to you about it like a week and a half ago. What are they called? The steam swimmer stones.
Oh, yeah. You could check those out yourself with a nature check.
Yeah. 18 plus 4.
Yeah, these were the finger-sized rocks.
Yes, from the steam swimmer.
The episode we just listened to because we just released it. That's
Can
how far behind we are.
Can I do an Arcana check on my Rock of Ohah?
Yeah, hold that thought. Okay. The steam swimmer, is like it's got a poisonous quality to the actual creature itself.
Yes.
And these stones, because of, it's not just from the creature, but its interaction inside the steam vents where the poisonous gases come from, have kind of crystallized into these. And you think with a little bit of time, you could potentially make them into some sort of arrowheads that might not pierce as well, but they would potentially be able to poison somebody if it got inside, in their bloodstream. But they're about the right size that you could potentially try to strap them to an arrow shaft and make an arrowhead out of it. It won't be, again, like a steel head. It won't cut like that. But if it gets in, it could poison them.
And I just have written here, it's a bag of them, and then I use 6 of them for something else. Should we do some sort of roll to see how many are in there?
Yeah. I would say you could probably roll 4d6 to see how many of them you have.
46.
$14 left.
Okay. So there was 20.
It's actually a nice round number.
So I want to take the rock and put it, meditate with the sword out and put the rock on the sword and see if the sword can tell me anything about the history of my apparent great
I'm not
ancestor.
Am I
smart, but
here?
my sword is.
Where are you doing this?
And when?
Well, we're in the fleshly lodgings, right?
Okay.
So
All right. So probably
just
not.
say the
You're
joke.
probably out swimming.
Just say whatever you're thinking. You're making yourself
If I'm
laugh.
out swimming, he's doing it.
that's going to be a 7.
Did
Did you say Arcana check?
Yeah,
or-
Arcana.
So this is 7.
All right, so you rest the stone on the sword. You kind of reach out. Are you reaching out to your patron, or are you just trying to
Reaching
examine
out
the
to
stone?
to the patron, I guess, because I kind of want the story behind it.
Okay. You don't feel the connection open up to that to your patron. You do kind of examine the stone, and you see it has some areas where it's got maybe speckles of quartz inside of it, and you think that has something to do with the magical nature of the stone.
Good deal.
It's the enchantment.
All right, so bedtime, right?
Yeah. Is there anything else you're doing?
Feeding Clippy.
Feeding Clippy?
Gross. Kira's going through all of her stuff.
Dry heaving.
Carefully, OCD dice.
Kira's going through all of her stuff,
Why?
making sure everything's in good repair and everything, and sees her Sam the Benevolent pendant and says, "Oh, Sam the Benevolent," and dragon appears and
Poof.
Okay.
pets him and just, "Hi." Quick visit.
Kira's going through her inventory like, oh, I
The
forgot I
dragon
had
appears.
this.
Pretty much.
It's a little bit larger than when you saw him before. Not extremely perceptibly so, but seems a little bit bigger. Kind of perches on your shoulder. No, there's no difference in the stats, but it
he's
is
so
growing.
cute.
It kind of perches on your shoulder for a little while. How long does he last?
10 minutes.
Okay. Can I see it real quick? It's been a long time.
He doesn't seem to recognize you. It seems it's been such a long time.
He's like a Tamagotchi you
That's
forgot.
because he's like level 2. I got him at level 1, and he was only seemed like he was only useful for like 1 or 2 levels. No
Oh,
offense.
okay.
But isn't friendship the real value that Sam
That's
the
why I
Benevolent
called him
brings?
back.
Do you do anything with him?
Play fetch.
Yeah.
I do if she doesn't.
Okay.
Just interacting with him, nothing super special.
Okay. He looks happy to
Bet
see
it's
you.
special to
Tickle
him.
under his chin.
Okay.
He's been so lonely in the bottom of your bag.
No, he's been in the Feywild.
Yeah, he goes to the Feywild in between.
I heard whispers of Sam the Benevolent and my laurel sprigs while I had my good berries in.
He's happy to be here. He doesn't stray too far from you. One time where you throw something for him to fetch and it goes a little far, he doesn't want to leave your vicinity. It might have something to do with where you are. But after about 10 minutes, turns back into your pendant. That's that. Goes back into a glassy dragon shaped
Resistance
pendant.
to lightning damage. I should have used him in the brain.
Well,
Well,
here we are.
Okay.
all right. Good night. Sleep
All right.
tight.
Everybody, Zev, you roll for nightmares like you always do.
19.
Everybody roll for
You have wonderful dreams.
your wisdom saving throw, please.
Did I remember what I forgot? So that I can forget it again.
Yeah, everybody has their memories back.
6.
8.
17.
Ditto. 17 ditto.
All right. Aaron and Zev, you take 1 point of dark influence. Where does that put you?
1.
1.
Oh, okay. That was just the sick feeling in your stomach again.
I had one before, but then I got rid of it.
Oh, how's Henna doing?
You came back to town. She was sitting with the drift globe, kind of just staring off across the
So not much
This-
better.
the Spore City that's underwater there. Just kind of sitting there with Malkovich restless beside her.
Okie dokie.
And it's actually so before morning comes, after you went to bed, GW, you're actually awoken by somebody taking your collar, picking you up, slamming you down on the floor, and your head hits or up against the wall next to the bed. Your head smacks into the wall.
It's me. I
Thunder
figured out
wave.
you're not sharing the gold.
Thunderwave.
Okay. That
Constitution.
is 13.
No.
All right. You wake up just in time to feel that and see Henna go flying 10 feet back across the room. And take
I would assume that also wakes up the rest of us.
Yeah, that's a 300-foot.
And she gets sent back 10 feet.
Yeah, she gets thrown back 10 feet and takes how much damage?
9.
Okay.
What the bloody heck are you doing?
Don't swear.
How are you? These were like 2 people to a room kind of thing. So who was anybody shacked up with the grease wizard?
Nope.
Yeah, I guess it would have been me.
Okay. So you're subject to that potentially too, that thunder damage. So make a constitution save. It's pretty tight quarters.
13, 16.
That matches.
Okay, so you take half. You take 4 damage, and you're not blasted out of the bed.
So
Sorry,
Zev wakes up, sword appears in his hand, and he seems almost as shocked by the fact that the sword appeared in his hand as he is that he was just woken up.
Okay. And Henna is now on the ground near the door, and she scrambles to try to get to her feet.
What kind of ground are we on?
Basically the same as outside of these buildings. Like, there's not a floor in here, so it's kind of a
Loose dirt.
loose stone, yeah.
Could I use my stone moving, my dirt shape, mold earth?
To entomb her?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's going to stand on her turn. That's her movement.
Mm-hmm.
So then it would be back to you if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
What is going on?
5 feet down. Thump.
Okay. She makes an acrobatics check. Doesn't end up in the hole. Manages to stay
Oh,
beside
you're
it.
going to make a hole?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, Zev.
What is going on?
Henna says, I had business with the little one. I didn't mean to wake everyone.
I say in Underdark.
What's going on?
I speak in Undercommon.
Yeah, we run up.
Yeah, you'd be running.
What kind of business? What kind of business, then?
In Undercommon? She says back to you, since we came through the gate and you messaged me with
Hey,
the scroll,
I am serious. I am standing right here. What is going on?
Hold up, Zev.
No, speak common.
She's got business with me.
I don't care, speak common.
You feel comfortable speaking common?
she turns around to start to leave.
All right, no. She won't speak unless it's Underdark.
Then
Listen,
you can leave. I'm going back
all right,
to
we'll
bed.
go. We'll step out.
Okay. She steps outside. You follow her. About that time, Kira and Aaron come bursting out of the nearby fleshly lodging.
This is such a disturbing
So
place
back
to
in
stay.
Undercommon.
You just see the Grease Wizard and Henna kind of animatedly talking to each other in Undercommon.
And if you can see inside the hut, Zev is just pissed, trying to go back to sleep.
What's going on? Is everything okay?
I don't know yet, Aaron. Hold up. I was just attacked by Henna here, so what? Back in Undercommon.
That's his undercommon voice.
That's the Undercommon accent.
What's your deal then, Henna?
She glances over at Aaron and Kira kind of warily
They can't speak it.
and says, look, since we came through that gate and you messaged me to use the squirrel, you've been in my head. It's not funny. Stop being a little shit.
I've not been in your head. I've not talked to you. I've completely forgotten about you, if I'm being honest.
Roll a persuasion check.
Please roll high.
Zev mutters a few things in Orcish just to be an asshole.
13 with Clippy.
Yeah, we know another language too.
That's right.
She just says, if I hear it again, I'm coming for you.
Well, listen, Henna, you've been down here too long, all right? It's not me, I promise. It's the Underdark speaking to you.
She just shakes her head and starts walking to one of the other huts.
All right, so Henna's going nuts, guys. And she's hearing me. I cast it when I cast a message. It's been in her head now, and yeah, she's not doing too well. We probably should do something with her.
Have you tried casting message again?
Don't do that.
Don't think that would rightly work, Aaron.
Like backwards.
I cast it back.
Or
oh,
what if you-
all right. Oh, did that work, Aaron?
Or if,
no.
or if you cast it again, then maybe she would realize that you haven't been doing it before that.
I don't think that would be a good idea based on how she looked.
Oh, no, good call.
I go after Henna.
All right. She's walking into one of the other huts that she was staying in, and you get to her about as she's going through the door.
Hey, Henna?
She doesn't turn around when you talk to her. She walks through the door.
I poke my head in and try and like tap her on the shoulder or something.
All right.
I don't like the
well.
expression on your face.
She reaches around to try to grab your wrist when you do that. That's a 16 against your AC.
Match.
Oh, no, that would be a grapple check. So you can roll a
14. Oh, wait,
dexterity check.
17.
17. Okay, she goes to grab your wrist, and you dodge out of the way.
Hey, Hannah. What's going on?
Look, your little friend is trying to make me crazy.
Yeah, he does that to all of us. I've been with him for several months now.
He's saying things to me. Just watch him.
I don't think he is, because I've been with him constantly for the past few days, and he's been all over the place, been not talking to anybody in his head. I've seen him cast message before.
It only goes 120 feet.
You're not here.
I cast message.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God.
No, I don't want to die.
Just keep an eye on him.
I promise you, I already do.
And she,
I trust him as far as I can throw him, which isn't very far.
Really?
My strength is only 10.
Oh.
Mine's 9.
good night.
Good night. Let me
Okay.
know if there's anything I can do to help make this burden of being in the Underdark any lighter.
No response.
Lighter. Sorry.
Is she still using the drift globe?
Is off here at night.
Ah. Maybe she should just live in that daylight, because it does that daylight thing.
Well, since I'm back up to full spell slots and everything, I'll just go stay near her lodgings
Okay.
and keep watch.
Say it.
Was this at the end of the
What
long
kind of
rest, or-
lodgings?
Fleshy lodgings.
You'd have to go back to sleep to finish the long rest.
I was already at that before.
Okay. So you're going to miss part of your rest
Yes.
and sit outside her hut?
Yes.
Zev's already
Okay.
asleep again.
All right.
I guess
Anybody
I'll
else doing
light
anything
doze.
or going back to sleep?
Going back to sleep, I guess.
I guess I'll go back to sleep.
Okay. All right. Nothing else happens throughout the night.
All right. Well, it's morning time, and we're going to go get the trash thing back
we
here.
all sit around and make a plan for what we're going to do today, eating our continental breakfast.
Continental breakfast. Well, I'm going to go to Germany now.
Okay.
All right. Shall we go slaughter a cow now?
Not it.
Nope.
Zev, this does seem like something you'd like to do.
Why do you think I would like to do this?
You
I
have
toss
a
you a
sword that
gold.
eats souls.
You have an axe.
souls. A sword that eats souls.
I hold out 1 gold for Zev.
I'm
Okay,
a
I'll do
vegetarian.
58.
439.
I'm working on it. So Zev goes off, finds an appropriate looking oxen, and I don't know how chops its head off, I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
Never saw it
or-
coming.
I guess just roll an attack.
Do the worst looking one, though.
What's the least
Like the
painful
most
way to kill a
sickly one.
cow?
Pithing it. Pithing.
You want me to pith on it?
No, not pith on it.
12, 16, 19.
Okay. You walk up to one of the 4 oxen sitting near the big kind of reservoir of clean water where they're penned in there.
Can I please lead him away from the water before I do this?
Lead him away from the
You can
water.
lead a
And maybe
cow away from
onto
water.
what's his face's name of floating disc.
I could just make it underneath him.
Okay.
Slash through the cow, and it drops down onto the ground beside you. Dead oxen.
Okay.
Moo.
Right.
That made me
And I'll
upset in a way that
Take out
killing no
one of my
NPC
daggers and
has
start
made me
butchering
upset
it as best
before.
as I know how.
Oh,
Are
you
you-
don't need to do that, Zev. Zev, we're just gonna.
You start carving into this cow.
That's actually probably a good idea.
About the time the drow in the city wake up, come out of their houses.
Now, I still have the sword out. I haven't put it away. It's just on my back.
Okay. And they come out, see you down on your knees, taking your daggers and just unexpertly stabbing this dead cow. Blood splatters
Viscera.
all over you. And one of them runs up to you and goes, What are you doing? Who are you?
It's okay. I was told to kill it. We're going to go find the trash monster.
What are you talking about?
OT.
Have you been talking to Gajaja?
Ajuja, yes.
Bless you.
Now we're down another. Look, we don't have oxen to. It's a silent gag, by the way. We don't have oxen to spare. We've been talking. We need to just.
Well, this one's already
I
done.
was about to say that.
We were going to just start sending them back down on the high road. It was going to take them a little longer, but if we don't have all of the oxen by the time we send water back with them, so that they can make the trip, we're just not going to be able to get enough water up here. There's no
It's
such
so
thing
what
as
is-
an OT.
So
OT
what's going on?
died in the flood.
It is okay. Once we have fixed the situation on the low road, you will not even need the oxen.
Look, I don't know what's down there. I know what you were told, but it's not a trash monster. And knowing what's around in these places, it's probably something a lot worse. So excuse me if I don't have faith in this blood-covered orc who I just met.
Racist.
From as far away as she could possibly get.
And he clicks his fingers to some of the other ones, and he says, "Watch these other oxen." He says to some of the other
we just
drow.
wanted
We
one.
only need the one.
All of us.
And he just,
High five.
at least leave us some of the meat.
All right, fine.
Is there a specific cut you want?
Flank.
Zev very carefully tries his best.
All right, roll a survival check.
I don't even
2.
know what a flank is, but I'm hoping Zev does. 7.
You pull out.
Wait, no, hang on. Where's survival? Wisdom. Yeah, 7. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you carve part of its leg off and hand it over, and he takes it, the loose meat in his bare hand, and just looks at you. Watch the others, he says to the other people, and he walks away with the meat.
I assure you that is not necessary.
All right. So,
Do you want-
Tensor's floating disc.
Do you want to come roll around in the blood first?
No, I don't. I don't think I want to do that, Zev.
Zev looks down. He's now just up to his elbows and okay.
I'll cast as a ritual. I got 10 minutes.
Yeah?
Tensor's floating disc.
Okay.
I'm going to splash around in the water a little bit, try to get some of those.
And the
I thought
clean
you were-
reservoir.
I thought you were going to say you were going to splash around in the blood.
The Old Spore City, where the flooded parts are, not the good water. Zev just goes to the drinking water.
Well, roll an intelligence.
Well, he's not very smart.
Cannonball.
I'm just kidding. All right, you go and wash off the best you can, and kind of the nasty. It's not very good water. It smells terrible.
At least it's not blood.
Lateral move.
Hopefully it'll repel whatever this is instead of attract it specifically to me.
Okay. Yeah. So you've got the dead oxen. You put the floating disc underneath it. What's the plan now?
So,
Low road.
Pac-Man.
right.
Hey, drow person who is very angry at us for killing your oxen.
He's almost back to. his
Okay,
hut
one of the
with
other drows that
meats.
is nearby.
Yeah, there's one there filling up a cup in the reservoir.
I hope you enjoy your steak.
Okay, so Ajuja says there's an OT. He says there's no OT. What do you and the rest of them think? Ish?
Just roll a straight up persuasion check to see if they're even
Nope.
talking to you at this point. Nope.
5. Nope.
Stay away from the other oxen is all you get.
We just want to know how far down we need to go.
You don't get any response.
Should I just fly in? Fly back?
Sure.
Are we willing to waste half a day for that?
Sure.
Well, for us, a full day.
Sure.
Are they both concentration spells?
Oh. I don't rightly know, sir. Fly. That's a concentration. And tensors
I think they are.
is instantaneous. It's not a concentration.
Okay.
It does not say concentration.
I'll look real quick, but you're probably right.
Might be a good idea. I could be wrong.
No, you're right. It does not require
Mine?
concentration.
Oh, mine says requires concentration.
On tensors?
No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at fly.
Fly
My
does,
bad. My
yes.
bad.
Tensors does not. Can hold up to 500 pounds. The first time you cast it and try to lift it up with the oxen on it, the spell dissipates.
Oh, bloody. All right, Zev, cut into this. Now that you're all clean, go cut into it a little more.
That is some
Wow,
weird
that
crunchy
looks like
noises.
it's about 400 pounds of meat right now. Good job, Zev. You cut so good, buddy. And I cast the spell again.
Okay. So another 15 minutes of butchery and 10 minutes of ritual.
While he's casting the ritual again, Zev goes and splashes off again. Faster.
in the dirty water
And then
yet
Zev
again.
comes back. Zev, gotta cut more off. Just kidding.
Yeah, this time it lifts up
How much does a cow weigh?
off the ground.
More than 500 pounds.
Like how much?
Literally, the bull at
It was
the end
an
of the road
oxen.
weighs 1,300 pounds.
But how much does an average cow weigh?
You put about half of this oxen on there.
All right.
About 1,000
And
pounds.
we walk down to the low road.
Yeah, so you get to the low road. You look down. You can see that there's a rail that would hold the carts or the wagons or whatever. And it goes down at a pretty steep slope, but it's still got like the actual earth underneath it. Like it's not up above the earth.
No Donkey Kong. Okay.
It's laid down on
Yeah.
a few inches, like above the ground. And you start flying.
Well, can I do an intelligence check to see if I would go faster if I would fly or if I would take the rails?
Okay.
Or would I just know
You're not
that?
going to be able to switch directions quickly.
But it's just one direction.
Well,
Have you left
unless
yet?
you run into something
No.
and you're trying to bring it back.
Yeah,
Then
you,
I could just fly and leave the cart.
Okay.
you can roll.
Intelligence?
Mm-hmm.
13.
Yeah, so they said it only takes a few hours to get back on the rails, and it was like a
Same for us, too.
5-day walk on the high road,
Mm-hmm.
and you fly twice your walking speed. So,
So that's, you're giving
We would
Sam
fly-
a math problem?
You would
Rails would
fly.
be ridiculously faster.
yeah.
Much faster.
If,
All right.
if it was half a day on the rails, it would be 5 times faster than flying.
Okay.
And if a minecart leaves New Spore City,
All right, yeah, I'll hop on the mine cart then.
I'm wondering if maybe I should cast Pass Without Trace on the squirrel so that he can access it if he needs to escape.
On the what?
Spell scroll.
are you going? If
Our
he's
friend.
going on the rail, is anybody going with him, or is he going by himself?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I heard it's like a roller coaster.
Sounds great to me.
Okay.
But
Sure.
then we're going to be slow coming up back up.
I want to ride the roller
But I
coaster.
want to ride it.
All right. Yeah, I mean,
Come on,
more power
Dad.
to- I mean, yes, go.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you doing it?
When the
Henna's
priest
still
wizard is the
inside.
rational authority figure here.
Henna's still inside her hut. Is anybody approaching her or?
Not you.
I think we're going to leave her.
I think Kira maybe.
Yeah.
I wrote a note.
She's grumpy.
I drew a picture of us, and
While
this is
the
Malkovich.
butchering and everything is going on, I do pass without trays to the squirrel, and then I go talk to Henna.
Okay. She's laying in the bed, staring toward the wall.
Yay, she's catatonic.
Hey, Henna.
Kira, are we setting out now?
We're gonna try and get OT or whatever it is in the tunnel.
Oh, perfect. Another aside.
Do you still have that light globe thing?
Mm-hmm.
You want to turn it on for a bit?
Sure. It lights up and kind of drifts over her shoulder a little bit.
Do you need
You
anything?
could see her shadow against the wall, slowly breathing.
Do you need anything?
Nothing that I can get down here.
If there's anything I can do to help you, let me know.
Convince them not to go on a quest for a trash compactor. Otherwise, I'll see you in a little while.
Okay, we'll try and get back as soon as we can. I'm getting tired of being down here, too.
Oh. Why are we going on this quest?
We already killed the cow. We have to do it now.
We just butcher cows. Like, you know what? Forget it.
I mean,
He's still covered in blood, and we're like, never mind.
really though, why are we doing this? Like,
Why can't the other drows do it?
yeah. We made the plan. Can we just get another one to do, someone else to do it?
I was just kind of coming along.
I don't know if anyone else has a tensor floating disc to try and get back uphill.
Maybe, but like, I don't know. They seem to have a pretty good workaround. They're not.
They did.
They're like,
Before we killed one of the oxen.
well, they'll still be fine with 3. They'll get another one next couple of days.
They've been sending them every day.
Oh, so we're good, right? We
Wasn't
don't-
every day.
Yeah, it was because they weren't getting any wagons back, and so instead of being every other day, they became every day.
No, it was like it became every other day, I thought.
Yeah, I think it became every other day.
Whatever.
But still, like,
You might have been gone long enough that there might have been another one come in like last night while you were asleep.
that's
I rolled a
fine.
16. They did.
That's how it works.
Roll an oxen check.
We don't need to do this, right?
Still covered.
And gunk.
Like, maybe we can hit this on the way back if they still haven't, fixed it. But like,
I didn't plan on coming back through this way
well,
because we're going back up.
then we'll never
Above.
see them again, right?
True.
So it doesn't
As long
bloody
as-
matter.
As
Let's
long as we
go.
don't see the consequences,
When did he become
there can't
chaotic?
be any, right?
Are you chaotic neutral now?
He has to be. He has to be by this point.
I mean, no. I said I'd help them on the way back, but right now, I mean,
If there is no way back, I don't have to help them.
I'm now giving him a flat look with one eyebrow raised.
oh, Kira, come on. We've been here long enough. Henna's dying pretty much. Let's just go.
Jesus Christ.
All right, look. There is, I pull out the map that we got. We're in Old Spore City right now, and it looks like there's this river that leads us through to Greystone. Where are we trying to get to again?
All the way to the bottom of the map.
Mm.
We're only about
There's
a quarter of the way there.
Yeah, you've looked at that map probably with Henna, and the path she's said that you're heading would be down the Dark River, through Zidres, across the Night March, past Red Rock, and there's a little access point in the Dragon's Breath, I think it's called.
I think so.
Devil's
My picture
Breath?
is a little
Devil's Breath.
pixeled.
Up to the above ground that you think would be far enough south to be behind the problem down there.
It is pixeled, see?
Let's go.
I don't know if that's what you're laughing
I mean, these drow weren't particularly nice to us.
So they deserve to die.
They're not going to die. They're going to send it down the high road. They might have to wait an extra day for water, but they'll figure it out.
And even if a few of them die.
Who cares, right? Zev's got it. I mean, they'll be in a better place in...
You saw what they did to our people down below.
Right. So,
you know what? Okay. I'm not like Drowist or whatever, but I see your point. Like, we do need to get going. There's a lot more at stake here. I mean, there's Henna, obviously, but there's a lot more at stake that's pretty time sensitive. So, if you guys think
As Arin says this, the grease wizard snaps his fingers and drops the cow just onto the ground.
and just cow blood splatters all over.
More gets on Zev.
All right, let's go get Henna and go. I'm down. Anyone else?
Yep.
All right, well, bloody hell, let's go.
Thanks for the cow.
Sorry about your cow. He's a real weirdo here. I didn't know he told Zev to do this. He just said, I was roommates with him, and I heard...
Somehow feels more disrespectful.
Someone can still use this cow.
All right, I pull out my case full of notes, and I scrawl
thought-
free meat on it, and I put a note on top of the cow. Let's go. Everything's just
The brush of happy accidents to bring the cow back home.
I do have that scroll.
You know, I really don't regret this decision.
Is the Revivify still able to be used at this point?
I do have that scroll too.
So you go and somebody's going to get Henna?
Not I, said the
Sure.
grease wizard.
All right, Kira, you go back in. She goes, what? Do you need my help?
The grease wizard has changed his mind and he's not taking the cow down to OT or whatever it naughty is.
She's
So-
immediately up on her feet and starting to walk toward the door and says, that's the best news I've heard in a while.
All right. I made her happy.
and I'm standing in her hut kind of...
Yeah, she's past you and outside.
All right.
Did the
well,
globe follow her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
it follows behind, like 5 feet above her shoulder, and a little bit back.
On my way out, I trip up against her bed.
Okay.
Yep, I rolled in that one.
You didn't have to. No one made you do that.
You definitely do. You knocked one of the legs off of it, and it crunks down onto the ground.
Oh, so we've now destroyed property and killed it.
The police are going to get
I
us
leave a
on our
gold
way
on
out
the
of
bed.
here.
Okay, you leave a gold.
The news later is going to talk about some weird cult protest and
All right, Hannah, we need to get out of here fast. We already killed an oxen, and they think we're going to do this quest.
All right, well, before we go, we need to make sure we fill up our water.
Done.
All right, dunk, 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 dunk.
It's going to be a long...
is that the water? The sound
I
water
was
makes in
filling
your
it-
head?
mhm.
It's going to be a long run before we can get more.
Wait, hang on. Let me take a sip. Dunk, 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 dunk.
All right. So you fill up your water. The drow
Having
just looking at you, looking down at the cow as they wait there near the oxen and the thing, but they don't
We're
say
getting
anything.
ready to go soon.
Zev
Except
goes
we're going
last,
that
and so
way.
now his hand going into the clean drinking water
A
is,
little couple drips of blood and,
and
the
whatever that awful
toxic
sewage
water.
toxic water was.
Yeah. gets in there, but it doesn't, it's a tiny bit in a really big reservoir. Maybe it'll be okay. All right.
He says silently to himself, "For Nevermoon."
For Nevermoon. All right.
You didn't even want to be an orc until like a week ago.
What? I've
And
been
on
a
that
half-
note,
a half orc my
we
whole
go.
life.
On that note, you set out from Old Spore City, having made the world a better place. Henna leads you to a dark, flooded passageway that extends out in front of you.
I love,
yay, more
I'm
dirty
sorry.
water.
I just last thing, I swear, I love that we spent like 2 days going down a dry well and awakening a purple worm. But the thing we said we were going to do to help other people, like, screw it.
Purple worm took too long.
Yeah.
And also, that wasn't supposed to take 2 days.
Apparently, we killed their guardian statue somehow too,
Oh,
and then left.
I refuse.
Yeah, let's
To-
just go.
we've
We gotta go quick.
We will never solve the mystery of Father Teresa. Let's get out of here.
At least the place hasn't been burned down yet.
Yet.
If you stay much longer.
Hi, I'm Mike, and you're listening to the Date Night Podcast. If you're interested in our homebrew content, such as class and race options or other unique things about the show, you can check that out from our Friendly Neighborhood Game Moms Dungeon Master Guild page. So some of them are free, some of them are pay what you want, others are just a few dollars and are used they really do help us out. You can find all of these by going to our website, d8nightpodcast.com, and clicking on the store tab, or by going to dmsguild.com and searching for Will Mayer. Now, I've seen some of Will's content. Actually, I've seen it all. But the titles are Path of the Fury for the Barbarian, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Rules for Building Your Own Homunculus, which is just horrifying, Bloodlines, A Guide to New Playable Races, Backgrounds and Feats, and Crinkle Firetouch's Guide for the Homebrew Magic Items made specifically for this campaign. Speaking of that campaign, let's get back to it and hear what's in store next for our characters.
All right. So she leads you along the kind of the edge of that flooded part of the city into the dark flooded passageway that extends out. It's about 40 feet wide, maybe 20 feet tall where you start. There's little to no exposed rock in the area that you can see in front of you, other than a few jagged points of what must have been the tallest of the stalagmites in the cavern floor before it flooded. Henna stands there quietly, staring off into the darkness that extends past the range of any of your dark vision.
120.
From ahead, there's no sound except for the dripping, all in different rhythms and at different distances, and even it's an uneven perpetual drizzle against a river bathed in darkness. And Henna says, "The few times I've had to come down here, I've tried to avoid the dark river." Malkovich fidgets beside her.
But we've got the globe and we've got Fresnel.
It's pretty much a light river at this point.
No,
Oh.
it's a long run.
Sorry, I'm trying to be cheerful and cheer her up.
You can roll a
And
persuasion
it's not
check.
working.
18.
She smiles.
Maybe plus stuff.
She's
Persuasion?
yeah, not plus much probably.
Persuasion. Nope, nothing. So flat 18.
She smiles kind of
And we're together.
for your benefit a little bit when you say that. She says, the light river, high as it is this time of the year, it would be impassable. No way we'd be able to make it through the long breath. This isn't a much better option than drowning to death, though. It's lousy with our mistakes, but I guess it's our only choice.
It is or isn't a better option than drowning to death.
Not much better.
Oh.
Which way is the river flowing?
Has anyone told you you're kind of a bummer?
Yeah, I've heard that before.
All right, onward.
Which
The-
way is the river flowing?
It's weird. The river is very...
Towards the ocean.
It's less river-like and more still. And it doesn't move a whole lot.
Oh, it's a lazy river.
Yeah. You get the impression it is flowing the way you're supposed to go, but almost imperceptibly, yeah.
Because I was thinking, hey, maybe we could figure up a raft and we can help move faster.
All those Underdark trees.
Yes.
You won't have to worry about a boat.
Why not?
Well, she reaches into her pocket, pulls out a small box. It's about a foot long. She sets it gently into the water, and it floats on the top. She slowly pushes it out about 5 feet into the water.
We need something a little bit bigger, Hannah, to fit all of us.
It'll get there. In the meantime, I should probably tell you what we should be worried about.
Okay.
Like I said, our mistakes, things that the drow made a long time ago to be our servants. And they just call them web walkers. They hear Lolth's whispers, same as our priestesses, but Lolth seems to have other designs for them than to be our servants, and their hatred for us is not reprimanded by the Great Queen.
Whose hatred?
The web walkers.
That's fine.
Are these spiders?
Are they spiders?
Well, they were a long, long
Oh,
time ago,
no.
if you believe the stories, once elves, before our ancestors got their hands on them.
And what are they now?
Not quite elf, not quite spider, but something worse than either.
Oh. Well,
You really piss off a lot of cultures, don't you?
Not you personally.
The problem is they're not the worst of our worries. The reason I didn't want to go down the Dark River is because of Black Marin.
Who?
Black Marin, he was a boatman that was taken in the Rockseeker's flood, brought below in his small ferry with the filth of the mine's runoff. He was the first to die with his lungs full of the Dark River's water. But dead or not, he still pilots his boat and crews it with those who drown in the river that he fishes out of its depths.
That doesn't sound so bad.
I've got a fireball. I could sink a ship, you know.
Why does this remind me of Marlene?
I didn't say sink a ship. I'm just saying it doesn't sound very threatening.
Well, the water answers his call, as do the poor souls that breathe their last with their lungs filled with it.
Yeah, but we didn't do anything to him, so...
It's not what you've done to him, it's what he'll do to you.
But why?
Make his crew bigger.
Oh.
Huh.
Well, we got to go down there.
We can
Not
take
much
him.
of a choice. We fought a lot of things before. It's not going to take us down. We should go.
Okay.
Right? I mean, no sense of worrying about it. That's in the future. Haven't had to deal with that yet.
Wait, now we are talking about the future again?
Oh, Zev, buddy. Just go play with your stone. Oh, and I cast Minor Illusion and it glows.
It does.
Oh, wow. Zev, what did you do to unlock that?
I knew it was special.
Wow.
Hannah just looking
I
down
hate
the
you
dark
both.
corridor. And she says a single word.
Zev opens up the little pouch on his neck and shows the glowing stone to his mouth.
And now it turns
The
red.
mouse is still alive?
Look, Scrabbles! It is magic! Puts it in the pouch with the mouth.
There's no way that's Scrabble's one.
He takes Scrabbles out every now and again. Lets him go out, play, feeds him.
Look, I love animals as much as the next person, but there's probably more than the next person, but there's absolutely no way that mouse has survived all this.
You do not understand the true strength of Scrabbles.
It's going to turn out that Scrabbles has Zev's soul. or
Hey, I just
something.
want to point out that
my
is
actual
you
patron.
you just wrote Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, so congratulations.
Ah.
I can't read.
All right, Hannah, so how does this box open up?
She just looks down the corridor and she says a single word in Undercommon that Grease Wizard recognizes as one it's a very specific word. It represents like a special boot that's common in the Underdark, but it shares a root word with an Undercommon word for dry. So it's kind of like saying dry feet or dry shoes or something like that. When she does, the boat unfolds to one out of this little box. It's about 10 feet long and 4 feet wide with a pair of oars, a small mast, and a sail. In the prow, there's a small chest. And Henna, as soon as it forms or unfolds, steps onto the boat, and Malkovich fidgets on the shore.
Zev says float in Orcish.
Okay. You do. You're so serious. She searches through the chest on the ship or the boat for a moment and returns to shore, slipping a ring onto her finger. And she says, well, all aboard.
Which finger?
Wait, how does this?
I jump on.
How is this going to fit all of us?
Which finger?
If it's only 10 feet wide.
It's about
Long.
10 feet long, 4 feet wide.
We can all fit. Don't question it.
Well,
not-
I'll be sardines in a can.
Yeah, you're going to be tight.
I'm a gnome.
Which finger, though?
Her left index finger.
Zev gingerly gets on.
I accept this.
Okay.
All right.
Nomi's going to have to ride in someone's lap, not it.
Not it.
And Hannah goes,
Hannah, I drew you a picture.
get in the boat.
Okay.
Do you all get in?
Yep.
Okay. After you're all in the boat, Malkovich balks as she tries to place a hand on his weird, toothy snout. And she whispers something in Drow that sounds like Tamagotchi. And Malkovich
No.
squawks and then gets pulled into the ring, like watching smoke go back into a chimney.
Aw.
And he's gone. And you see the ring, instead of, if you're looking closely, instead of just having a blank gem on it, now has one with the image of a squawk.
Zev tries Chia Pet in Orcish.
Yes, he does. And then Henna pushes the boat away
I
from
say
the
knock
shore.
it off in Orcish.
It's not fair. They keep talking in languages we can't understand. It's rude.
And she hops onto the boat and grabs a position at the rudder. Somebody will have to pick up the oars, she says.
Oh, Rin and Zev. Oh, Rin and Zev.
4 feet
Well,
wide.
One would do it.
Why do I feel like a pack animal?
Pull both.
Zev sits down and just
You're going to start it? Okay.
Pretty sure her strength might be higher than yours.
Well, you're
It's
going to be
fine.
on the river a while.
That's
so.
true.
We can take turns.
So you spend a little bit of time floating down the dark river. It's not particularly fast. In fact, it's pretty
Are you
stagnant.
humming the whole time?
And his hum echoes gently off the side walls of the cavern. Comes back a little distorted. The water here is stagnant.
we all tunelessly hum for hours.
Hello, podcast listeners. The next half hour
Stay
is
tuned.
for more
Stay tuned for our
humming.
next episode, which is just sloshing noises and us humming.
it's really slow going, not just because the river isn't really flowing, but the visibility is awful. It's dreary and nearly pitch black, save for the
Oh.
occasional fungal caps.
Fresnel.
Pop on Fresnel. He shines down the corridor, which makes it a little bit easier to see, obviously, in front of you.
And
Does
can
that
I...
take a charge for him to run?
Yeah.
Fresnel,
Yes.
are you here?
Yes.
The area that you're piloting down narrows and widens, but for the most part it remains somewhere between 80 and 100 feet wide, without much exposed land to speak of. There's an occasional jagged stalagmite or pile of rubble. Nothing big enough to really get off the boat if you wanted to, but plenty are big enough and hard enough to see to potentially cause a hazard. Hannah has pretty good dark vision.
120.
She does too. And she's pretty good on the rudder. She does have a couple of close calls, and then she asks if somebody can help keep an eye, especially with Fresnel, for anything coming ahead of you. Here and there, you do find a little bit of a current that jars you forward a little bit more quickly, but mostly you're drifting at that slow, steady pace, picking your way ahead through a combination of Henna's work on the rudder, Zev on the oars, and maybe Arin's use of there's a pole in there too that you can kind of use to push along the sides when you get close.
Sure.
Henna says it's probably going to be a few days at this rate, so we're going to have to take some shifts. There's no difference between night and day here, so stopping, even if possible, by roping to some debris is maybe not the most advisable thing. Not only for the speed of the journey, but safety as well. The feeling the less time we spend in this river, the better it is for us.
Good call.
Just let me know when you think it's going to be about dusk. I got to feed Clippy.
Okay.
Oh, can you not? We're all smushed into like this space and
Sorry,
Getting
Arin.
seasick.
I just can't. I can't.
It's okay. I can do it in the corner, but it's going to happen.
Does anybody want to take the first rest? How do you want to split the time here? Do you want to make two different crews, or do you want 3 up at once, or how would you want to do it? It's going to be a few days to get down here.
I won't be much of a help.
I feel like
Well, that's usual, right?
What if you cast Tensor's floating disc, set it on its side, and kind of push this a little faster?
It just follows,
Yeah, it just follows.
him like 100 feet behind. So.
I could cast Fireball behind us. That could give us some
Like a
oomph.
jet engine.
I think we should do
Ooh,
3 at a time.
can I spend time trying to tinker some sort of, like, not engine, well, I guess engine?
Probably not with what you have on hand
We're on
I have a
raft.
whole backpack of crap.
in your lap.
Ow!
Probably not.
Stop elbowing me. Why don't we just make sure we always have one rower and one lookout awake, and other than that, everyone else can just we can switch out and take turns sleeping and whatever.
Okay.
So somebody on the rudder, somebody looking out, and somebody on the oars.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you'll sleep in shifts of 2 folks at a time.
Mm-hmm.
That should be enough for all of you to continue to get your long rests as you go along down the river. Although after her shift on the rudder should be done, Henna's sitting there with a grip tight around the rudder. Who's first trying to, I guess, take that over?
I probably would be taking over rowing, so
I guess, no. I mean, I think Hero might be better.
Okay.
I don't know. Rudder's easy. I could do rudder.
You go back to do the rudder, and it seems like Henna doesn't seem to be willing to give up the control.
Henna, you need to sleep.
No offense, but do you even know how to handle a boat?
I do.
Deception.
That is a 18. Knowledge check.
That's a 2.
If it's an intelligence, that's 23. If I know how to row a boat.
No,
It was a
think
deception
check.
So I don't know how to handle a boat. You
Well,
need sleep.
I guess we've got that magic lantern blazing out our location for all to see. I guess you'll be able to see as good as anybody else. Fine, I'll take a rest.
All right.
sweet dreams.
All right, who's sleeping first? Henna is, and
I've been rowing all day long. I'll take a rest.
okay, Zev. While you're here in the Dark River, it's sort of like a sensory deprivation area almost. It's like the constant lapping of the water on the oars, the dripping of the water around you, but other than that, the darkness and the unchanging temperature and the no, feeling so much of your senses as you would be if you were walking around or anything like that. It kind of sets your mind to, be elsewhere as you're drifting off to sleep. Like, what would be a memory that Zev maybe hadn't thought of in a while that he might recall in a time like that?
I remember listening to the waves coming in against the harbor in Gast, and I remember when the merchants weren't looking, I would steal a fish every now and again. And I loved that city. It was always just enough to get by.
Okay. So as you drift off to sleep, you have kind of positive memories of the taste of fresh fish and some of the noises of the city that you grew up in. Some pleasant memories from there. Okay.
Does that give me anything for the wisdom save?
Well, we're going to still make the wisdom save like all at once, so you won't have to do that yet. All right. As you get more and more of the Dark River behind you, and you make it through a day, we'll do a few, and then we'll make some rolls and maybe do a couple at the same time.
Do we have to pee off the side of the boat?
Yeah,
Just like into the river?
pretty much.
That's not awkward at
the
all.
The peeing's not even the most awkward.
What is?
He means poop.
I hold it.
Roll a Constitution saving throw.
Roll a
It's a
constipation
16
saving throw.
plus 3.
You've
19.
You got some stomach cramps, but it's still inside.
Oh my god!
The others of you, unless you're also attempting to hold it,
I'm
for
going to
days,
hold it. I can't.
Roll a Constitution save.
That is a 21.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
You're fine. You're
No, wait, a 20.
I haven't had to poop in days. Anyone
it's
else?
the plant-based
trying to
diet.
Hold it?
This is Fantasyland. I'm pretending that I don't ever have to poop.
Okay.
I grew up on the streets. This is not the first time I've pooped in public.
Oh, no.
Butt off
Does
the
he
side of the
announce-
boat.
does he
Zeb is the
announce-
first to go.
Does he announce
And all of a
that to
sudden-
us as he leans his butt over the side of the boat?
With a single healthy plop. He's finished.
No. No.
And
Well,
cut
we
this
had
whole
a
thing
good.
out.
We had a good.
This is the episode where they poop.
And there's the episode title.
You've heard of the hunger of Hadar. You've heard of the arms of Hadar. Now witness the bowels of Hadar.
It's not the stench of Hadar.
You know, if you really needed to go, you could probably climb into your bag for some privacy.
Just clean it out later, or what? Are we just filling up the 40-foot cube with?
Oh, no.
Oh.
You can make yourself a little litter
Gonna
box
have to
down
do
there.
some poop math. See how much it can hold.
Doesn't matter.
Oh boy.
It doesn't
Alright.
just go for pooping, though. If you need privacy, you could probably go into the bag.
So you make more and more headway down the Dark River. Again, no sound except for the water against the boat or dripping from the stalagmites. And after a while in here, all of you start to get this weird sensation that, like, this is the only real part of the world, and all of that other stuff you remember is some dream. And those dreams and memories, as each hour goes by, are harder and harder to recall in terms of, like, the recent ones, the times traveling in the Underdark, the times defending Raventree.
Darn.
Yeah, turn. But the memories of long ago are more at the forefront of your mind.
Or long, long ago for some of us.
For some of you. There's nothing but this grayscale surroundings anywhere where Fresnel isn't shining. It's how you see in the dark. It's kind of in shades of gray. And the water reflects the ceiling, but it's even darker than the blackness of the ceiling. And there's this stale, musty air. And the water navigating is weird, even if you've been on boats before, like in Gast. There's no smell of life. There's no hints of green. No croaks of creatures unless the grease wizard pulls one out of his newly discovered head of vermin.
I was just thinking about that.
So maybe he does. No warmth to the babble of the water, just cold, discordant dripping. And at first there was a really strong smell of mildew, too, that was bitter and overpowering and mixed with like a stench of rot. It was like if you ever walked across a dead horse left on a lonely road.
I killed an ox once.
You did. But after a few changing of shifts, you become nose blind to those smells, and there's just this ever-present stinging in the back of your throats. Go ahead and make your first dark influence rolls.
Was this wisdom?
Oof.
Yeah, wisdom save.
15.
6.
19. I'm good.
3.
Zev and Aaron, you each take 1 point.
That puts us both at 2.
Yep.
2. All right, well, you know what 2 is.
I don't.
I don't.
It is basically... Oh, maybe you don't. Do you mind sharing it with the group, or is it something you would rather keep secret how you're feeling? Because I could pass you a note.
I've been trying so hard to keep Hannah happy that
Yeah,
I'm reminding myself how to be happy, apparently.
I don't think that I would want to worry Kira anymore or whatever.
You can show this to each other then.
It's okay, Hannah. We'll be above land again
I
soon.
do need I do need each of you to make a Constitution save, though.
22.
Crit fail.
All right, let me write something else on there for Aaron before you pass it.
That's really bad.
Uh-oh.
It's okay, Aaron. We'll be back above land soon.
Just seasick.
Sunshine, happiness, butterflies, and roses.
I don't know if you can read this.
When did you turn into a cheerleader over there?
I don't want
She's
Hannah
just
to
trying
kill the
to-
grease
She's
wizard.
just trying to keep the rest of us going.
Let's do it. Right,
Can you
guys?
read that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you sure?
I know what it says.
Okay. So you travel again for about another day. When Aaron gets on the oars...
So it's been 2 days?
Well, it's been one evening so far on the Dark River.
Cool.
But we're getting through the second day. Aaron is a little slower on the oars today. It seems like she's just a little bit tired.
Hey, Hannah, how are you doing?
Well,
We're getting there.
we're moving, and moving's better than sitting still. If that's what you mean.
We'll get there. Just keep hanging there.
You see her kind of running her thumb over the index finger with her ring on it, like she's almost petting it.
Is that good or bad?
Are you going to ask that or not? Of Hannah.
You can roll an insight check.
That hit the pencil. That doesn't count. Roll again.
Yep.
Totally counts.
Oh, come on. No.
It was a 7 or a 16, depending on how optimistic you are. What I'm wondering is this like, man, I wish I could bring my pet back to life and just have him eat all these people? Or is it like, this is my comfort creepy pet?
You've seen her along your travel, and she's definitely comforted by having the pet nearby.
Okay.
So it might be something
Her
to do with
emotional
that.
support.
I pull out a frog.
Squawk.
Blurp.
Yeah. Blurp.
I pull out a frog from my
Okay.
hat and I hand it to her.
All
You
right,
should
roll
see-
a dexterity check.
I have literally no clue.
21.
All right, you pull out the frog. It tries to jump away. You grab a hold of it.
Hey, Hannah, here you go. It's kind of like your thing, except smaller and worse. But it's better than nothing.
She reaches out for it.
I
takes
hand it to her. And when it disappears, I can do it 2 more times today.
You can do what?
Get you a new one. He's going to disappear in like an hour.
Oh, so just enough time to bond with it then?
I think
No,
only 10
I think
minutes.
it'll be the same one. But just
I'll
like...
check his spots.
Okay, check his spots.
She holds it
I
in
could
her
also
lap.
do a bat or a rat if you'd like that better.
This is perfect.
Zev normally feeds just a little bit of his rations to his mouse. Today he just kind of shoves the whole thing down inside the pouch and just sits.
Okay.
Oh. All right. Well,
Does the mouse have to roll for dark influence?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I think
18,
I haven't been rolling
5.
for Malkovich, so
17, 11, 8. Stop me when you ever want me to stop.
stop. I think Mr. Squibbles, what's his name?
Scrabbles.
He's
Scrabbles.
used to the dark.
I think he's okay. You try and drink at regular intervals at least. Stay hydrated, even with that stinging in the back of your throat. And you're trying other ways to maybe mark the time. Does anybody have any way to mark it, or not really?
I do this.
99 bottles.
And it
ale
would
on the
have
wall.
thrown you out.
Fresnel stays lit for 8 hours at a time.
All right.
Oh,
Okay.
That's
all
a good way to
right.
mark time. So you know it's about 2 days on the river at this point.
You take one down, you pass it
Um,
around.
You may
98 bottles of meat on the wall.
all right. For that second day, there was a wide opening to your right that Henna advised you to give a wide berth because she said it led to Marin's Rest. But other than that, the trip has been unremarkable from a sensory point of view,
Oh, no.
This is taking forever.
but one that has played with your imagination, your memories, and your thoughts.
I just looked at this map, and we're like
A 10.
less than a quarter of the way through the river.
Well, you passed that at, fairly early.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
She said it was like 5 days maybe down the river.
Oh, okay.
You're about 2. Sam's so happy anytime things take time because he gets to make Clippy.
He just hit 20 days.
He's getting close.
10
Oh
days.
no, what a shame. Clippy fell in the water, never to be seen again.
To start over.
Did you forget to close the jar? Oh man, it dried up.
That's a nice homunculus you have there. Would be a shame if someone chucked it into
Grease wizard.
Are you implying that if you left the top off, it would just dry out like Play-Doh?
Like Play-Doh.
Allie got some gack on her last day of school, and she forgot it out that night. Yeah, it was dried and hard the next morning,
Grease wizard.
like old gum.
One of the things that you have remembered since your time recalling things was part of your early life as a young child. Your mother often spoke of your father and your brother with a lot of pride, and it made you jealous. You didn't really remember them, and your mother talked about how they gave up something to get you here, to the place that you were in Elysium, to get you there from a very dark place, and they never made it out.
Oh, burdens. Right.
So, as you drift off to sleep, your mind hangs on a memory, one of your mother, one of your small village in Elysium. That morning had been beautiful, as in terms of the weather most days were in Elysium. It was a perfect, cool morning, bathed in the light diffused through the sky canopy above. You had awoken before your mother, and with determination had proudly set out to hunt and skin a beaver with the knife that you had received on the day before on your 6th birthday. Your mother had commented on the pelt of a beaver hanging in a friend's cabin not 2 weeks ago, and you knew of nothing else that might please her more than having one of her own. You had seen a beaver a couple days back slapping the water with its tail not more than a mile from your home over at a silvery lake. There had been a dam there blocking some of the water on the near side from draining out of it when it overflowed. It was not unusual for you to sneak outside before your mother was awake, and there was little fear in the villagers in this sheltered place, and none in your little 6-year-old heart. You crept toward the water's edge with the skinning knife tucked into your belt and a slingshot in your hand. The stone you had was pale and smooth, and you had been working your thumb over it all morning on the walk to the lake. When you arrived, there was no sign of the beaver, but the still deep pool sparkled. You leaned over the bank to catch a reflection of yourself, something you enjoyed doing, making faces at the boy who looked back. And as you peek over the edge, you see yourself, not as a young boy, but like you look now, here at the Dark River. You're still sticking out your tongues at each other, though, reflecting each other's movements and laughing. All right?
Oh.
And as the second day passes, I need all of you to make your other another wisdom saving throw.
Oh, come on.
21.
You lose a level with
didn't.
that dream, if you had any.
3.
13.
12.
Ooh.
Henna dives over the side of the boat.
Hannah becomes Smeagol.
Again, that's a
Clutching
3
her
for
ring.
me,
Okay, on.
That is his least favorite
which
character
I guess I
ever.
mark another one.
How many levels do you have?
I got 3.
Do you need me to pass this
No,
note back
that-
to him to add to it?
I don't know.
Oh, you're on 3.
Yep.
Oops, my bad. Okay. That's where you're at. I also need you to make that same Constitution saving throw that
Do I need
You
to
made
make
the
one
other
too,
morning.
since I'm still at 2?
you're still at 2, yes.
It's 19.
13.
All right, the bottom part of your original one no longer applies. The top part still does.
Okay.
All right? If that's not confusing. You made 13, you said?
Yeah.
All right, you're okay. On what's the third day, you're jolted to a full sense of awareness for the first time in many hours as a shot of adrenaline runs through your veins and the hairs on your arms stand at attention in the cold, damp cavern.
All of us or just him?
Everyone.
Oh.
The boat lurches toward the left just as you hear a cacophony of noises echoing off the chamber walls around you with a...
Hannah, what's going on?
Henna just shouts, "Hit the deck!" And I need all of you to make dexterity saving throws.
Come on, dice.
DC's 12. Let me know if you don't beat 12.
I don't.
I don't.
I do.
I do.
Okay. Zev and Kira, you don't hit the deck quickly enough. You're maybe the two up in the frontmost part of the boat at this particular time. You get ensnared in some webbing. Just as Henna tries to steer around the piece connecting the web to a stalagmite under a high section of the main web. And as soon as you hit the web, those sounds around you thought were loud in the stillness before intensify to 10 times what they were doing.
It's so loud.
The others of you still in the boat, Henna, GW, and Aaron, you smash down onto the deck just as Henna squeaks under the web, avoiding getting the boat caught in it. But Kira and Zev are behind you.
Well, we had a good run, guys.
Help me.
Henna glances back at them, and when she does, the boat smashes into a particularly large pile of rubble, and all of you lurch forward and immediately feel ice-cold water pouring in all around you. The boat is sinking fast, and it's almost immediately half full of water. It bounces back off the section that it hit and whips your head back from the impact. All in the same moment, you find the boat drifting down further and further until it's gone in the darkness below. And I need anyone who is still in the boat to make Constitution saving throws.
21.
8.
Okay. We are going to roll initiative. Sam, you're shocked, or GW is shocked from falling in the water, so you're going to be at disadvantage on the initiative check.
I feel alive for the first time in days.
Aaron's all right. So
I am so glad I have advantage on initiative rolls.
everybody roll initiative.
Use different die.
All right, I'll start with Zev. That's uno.
Uno.
Aaron,
Siete.
that's with your bonus.
Yep.
Do I get a bonus with my...
Not with a
Okay,
one.
one.
Grease,
7.
your dex is higher than Aaron's. Kira,
I almost rolled a 1, but I have an advantage, so I rolled a 21.
All right. Go, Kira.
Hannah's got a 20. All right, now I got to get... What time is it? Do we have time for this encounter?
So,
Not
8
really.
o'clock.
Oh, boy. Okay, that's our
Cliffhanger!
cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger
I'll
for
write
tonight.
these initiatives down. So I have them in case we lose those, which I'm guessing I will. All right.
Yay!
Woohoo!
Kira.
I killed an oxen.
For no reason. It was senseless violence.
That's the best kind.
We hope you've enjoyed our date night together. Remember, you can really help us out by subscribing, rating, and reviewing on whatever platform you use to listen to us. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again in 1 week.